Good evening. A historic occasion will take place in Washington on Monday. Former high-level government employees, military officials, and pilots from all over the world will come together. They'll discuss their own UFO sightings and encounters, and they'll do it at the National Press Club in the nation's capital. Some of them will share their stories for the first time. This group has gathered together to call on the United States government to take an active role in investigating cases involving unidentified flying objects. That's the topic of our program tonight. Our panel here in Los Angeles, Fife Symington, the former governor of Arizona, who in 1997 ridiculed an infamous UFO sighting by thousands of people in his state and later admitted that he himself saw a craft. James Fox, the filmmaker who is the executive producer of the award-winning feature-length documentary Out of the Blue, the definitive investigation of the UFO phenomenon. Colonel Chuck Halt, United States Air Force retired, was the deputy base commander of Brentwater's Woodbridge, a U.S. military base in Suffolk, England. And in 1980, Chuck and his patrol investigated an internationally known UFO encounter in Rendlesham Forest, close to the Brentwater's Woodbridge case. Sergeant Jim Peniston, U.S. Air Force retired, was a Woodbridge security supervisor at that base in 1980, says he sat with a UFO on the ground for 45 minutes before it hovered above him and shot into the air at an unearthly speed. And in Copenhagen, Denmark, is Nick Pope. For 21 years, Nick was a government official for the British Ministry of Defense. From 91 to 94, he ran the British government's UFO project at the Ministry of Defense, where he researched and investigated the UFO phenomenon for the British government. Fife, are we now saying that the United States is taking this seriously, or is this just an event?
I think the United States is taking it seriously, and they need to. It's long overdue. The issues that James has so courageously tackled with his production deals with really the very top sightings around the world, and he's brought this group together for this press conference on Monday, and I think it's a great public service that he's providing.
And you're going to moderate it, right?
I'm going to moderate it, yes.
You were certainly a skeptic, right?
Originally, I was a skeptic.
And what changed yourself with sighting?
Well, I was part of the Phoenix Lights Over Phoenix event back in 1997. And I saw a wedge-shaped craft of enormous proportions fly over what we call the Squaw Peak area in Sunny Slope in Phoenix the night of the event, and it was something to behold.
James, you haven't cited it, right? You just did the film.
Yes, I've spoken with a lot of high-ranking military and government officials from several countries.
What got you involved to even do the film?
Well, it was an interest I had of mine. And it was a personal investigation, I guess, and I started to document some of this stuff on camera, and next thing I knew, I ended up with the film.
And
12 years later.
Will you be there Monday, too?
Absolutely, yes.
Are they going to show that film in Washington?
No, we're not. This is just to establish the fact that the phenomenon is real, and it's happening worldwide.
Colonel Halt, the United States Air Force retired, was deputy base commander at Brentwater's Woodbridge. That's a U.S. military base in Suffolk, England, right?
That's correct.
Is it still there, that base?
It's still there, but the base is now closed.
Okay.
It's been returned back to its civilian owners and made into council housing, something like Section 8 housing.
What, if anything, did you see?
I saw some lights I couldn't explain. Very unusual lights. I don't mean just a light like a bulb. I saw something that was oval-shaped, maybe 10, 12, 14, 16 inches across, had a black center. It sort of winked, and it appeared to be dripping something like molten metal off it. It moved horizontally through the trees, avoiding trees, occasionally bobbed up and down a little vertical distance. It came toward us at one point. It receded. We were very concerned, but we tried to approach it to see if we could get close enough to discern what it was. It actually moved out into a farmer's field beyond us. We got up to the edge of the field, we looked at the object, watched it for a few minutes. I was very concerned because the object was illuminating the farmhouse behind it, and I wasn't sure whether there was some damage being inflicted on the people that lived there or what. Suddenly the object just exploded silently into 5 white objects, and it disappeared.
What time of day?
This was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Did you report it?
Oh, my, yes.
One thing I want to say quickly is that I think the objects overhead were far more interesting.
Yes.
The next series of events.
While we were in the field investigating, and we were actually looking for maybe burn marks on the ground, from what was apparently dripping off this object, we noticed 3 objects to the north in the sky. They initially were elliptical. They were illuminated with multiple lights and were moving at high speed in sharp angular patterns. We noticed 2 objects to the south. One of them approached us at very high speed and sent down a beam. I would equate it now to a laser beam at our feet.
Who's the we, Colonel?
There were 5 of us. I took 5 people out to investigate.
What did your command superiors say?
At that time, my superiors were silent. It was 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I was communicating with the command post. I did take an audio tape. In fact, I brought the original tape recorder with me. It's a little linear tape recorder that I carried around the base. And I made a tape recording, which is about 15 or 20 minutes long. It's rather famous now.
And did you play it for them?
Oh, definitely. I played it the next day.
What did they say?
Well, my boss took it to the 3rd Air Force commander to the staff meeting the following Wednesday and played it for the staff. The reaction of the staff, from what I'm told, is they didn't know what to do. And the general at that time said, well, it happened off the installation. It's a British matter. Let the British handle it.
Were you there, Sergeant Peniston?
I was there on the first night. I went off base to check out a possible aircraft downing. I thought it was an aircraft crash, and I took my team with me, and when we got to the wooded line off the east gate, we discovered a craft of unknown origin. It was triangular in shape.
On the ground?
On the ground.
Did you touch it?
Touched it, walked around it, photographed it. We did a full investigation of it on the ground for 45 minutes.
Any sign of anything in it?
There was no exterior openings, no crew compartments, no intakes, no engine compartment that I could observe. It was a very smooth fabric craft. It was black in color with lighting running through the fabric of the craft.
Were you frightened?
Yes, it was. I was very concerned.
Where's your logbook? Can you show?
In my logbook,
with the symbols on it.
Yes, as long as when I was taking notes, it was progressively got worse. Matter of fact, you can barely read my writing by.
And then it took off, right?
After 45 minutes, then it powered up with lighting and went to tree level and took off. And
did it make sound like an engine?
Absolutely no sound and no air displacement.
Just up.
Up and gone.
And the symbols, I think they're showing the symbols right now. Sorry.
Yeah, there are the symbols. We'll check in with Nick Pope in a moment. Do you believe there is extraterrestrial life? Head to our website, cnn.com/Larry King, to vote. There's also a special guest commentary by Governor Symington about what he saw in the Arizona skies. Also ahead, Shirley MacLaine. We'll be back with more right after this. Copenhagen. Colonel Holt, investigating the area days later, he's here with us now, Colonel Holt, ended up seeing something himself. Listen to this audio tape.
There's no doubt about it. There's some type of strange flashing red light ahead. There's yellow. I saw yellow tinge in it too. Weird. It appears that he may be moving a little bit this way. Yes, it's further than it has been. Yellow. It's coming this way. It is definitely coming this way. Now we've got an object about 10 degrees directly south, 10 degrees off the horizon. And the ones to the north are moving, one's moving away from us. It's moving out fast.
There's one on the right heading away too.
Yeah, we're both heading north.
And we have with us, he brought it along, Colonel Holt's notes that he kept while this was going on, right?
Actually, it's Sergeant Peniston's notes.
Yeah.
Your note.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Chuck. It was Sergeant Peniston's notes. You kept these while you were viewing this thing?
Yes, we needed the times and that for, log entries and stuff like that. It's routine. Yeah.
You missed the symbols on that. The symbols are so fascinating.
Routine activities, not a routine event.
That's right.
Let's check in with Nick Pope in Copenhagen, 21 years a government official for the British Ministry of Defense. Nick, what do you make of all of this?
Well, the Rendlesham Forest case was certainly one of the most compelling UFO incidents in the British government's files on this, and critically, one of the very important things about.
Take a look at this. It is a fireball today over Austin, Texas. A cameraman, his name is Eddie Garcia of our local affiliate News 8 Austin, was filming a marathon when the mysterious object streaked out of the sky. CNN spoke with him about his amazing video.
When you see something like that, it's you don't really know what it is, and you just kind of you stare at it for a little bit, and then you just wonder for the next 5 minutes, what was that? And for me, I wanted to make sure that I got that on tape, and I sure did.
Yeah, he certainly did, and everyone is playing it, all the major networks. It's an unbelievable piece of tape. There is speculation that the debris is from a pair of satellites that collided several days ago over Siberia, but that has not been confirmed. Not been confirmed. We're going to check into it. So far, there's no indication it actually hit the ground. The FAA says it has gotten numerous reports of falling debris across Texas.
Is there really life on other planets? Some former military and government personnel say they have proof there is. Elaine Quijano explains.
We've seen the photographs and heard the stories of what some say is evidence of UFOs. Now a group of scientists, former Air Force and FAA officials is lending its voice to the argument that we are not alone. Dr. Stephen Greer heads up the Disclosure Project, a group that compiles information from people who say they've encountered extraterrestrial forms of life.
We can establish through this testimony that these objects of extraterrestrial origin have been tracked on radar going thousands of miles per hour, stopping and making right-hand turns.
Since 1993, Dr. Greer says he has videotaped testimony from more than 100 people about what they say are close encounters. People like retired Navy Commander pilot Graham Bethune, who believes he saw a UFO 50 years ago while flying to Newfoundland.
Then it appeared over to the right and moved out slowly and flew with us. It was still not at our altitude, but we could see the shape of it. It had a dome.
In addition, the Disclosure Project says it has documents supporting its case, including FAA records and CIA memos. What do members plan to do with their information? They hope Congress and President Bush take notice. They want to see congressional hearings into the matter, despite criticism from skeptics.
Those that don't want to believe you will never believe you anyway, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't change the truth.
A spokesperson for the Senate Science, Technology, and Space Committee says no congressional hearings are planned right now. Elaine Quijano, CNN Headline News, Washington.
We might be closer than ever to finding life in outer space. Scientists say they discovered a planet with the most Earth-like environment they have ever seen, about 123 short trillion miles away. Oh, come on. And it's smack dab in the middle of a place that could support intelligent life. Michio Kaku, physics professor, City University here in New York, and author of the Physics of the Future book, a bestseller in the New York Times bestseller look. How you doing, sir? And good morning to you.
Very good.
So it's only 123 million. I mean, road trip today, right? 123 trillion miles away.
Skip and a jump away. But
you say this is big and exciting news to astronomers.
This is big. This is really big. Astronomers have spent a lifetime chasing after the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail, an Earth-like twin in outer space. When you look at the constellation Libra, you'll wonder whether or not anyone is looking back at you from outer space.
So what are they seeing on this planet that they are so attracted to?
This planet may have a liquid ocean. If it was too close to the mother star, the ocean would turn to steam. If it was too far, the oceans would freeze. It's liquid water, we think, on that planet, and that's where life got off the ground. DNA, proteins, a mixing bowl of life is found in liquid water.
But right now we cannot say whether or not there is a liquid ocean.
That's right. The next step beyond this now is to verify the fact that there is water on the planet, and the temperatures are just right to have water in liquid form. The universal solvent, the mixing bowl of life itself.
Do you see this picture on our screen right now? That's us to the left, right? And that's that, what is it, Jalise? How do you say it?
Yeah, Jalise 581G.
All right, now you told me it's relatively close because it's only 20 light years away. We can't prove it even if there is liquid oceans there, right?
Well, we can by using spectroscopy, that is looking at light from that planet, putting it through a prism, analyzing that light in a laboratory, and then we can detect the presence of water molecules. So we hope to do that and determine the atmosphere of that planet. So remember that this is the Holy Grail. People have spent a lifetime looking at it, and this could be that moment.
So next then is that you would take your best telescopes and train it toward that area.
Well, telescopes still can't see this planet because it's too dim. We look for the wobbling of the mother star, indicating that there's a solar system of planets surrounding that star. 6 planets, by the way, surrounding that mother star.
So it could be more at only 123 trillion miles. That would be a lot of gas.
Gas, right. It would take 300,000 years for the Saturn rocket to reach that planet.
All right, let us know what you find on that. Congratulations on the book. It's been a huge hit for you, and we'll see what happens with this one. Thank you, Michio.
Okay.
All right, Mark.
Well, it's being called a real-life X-Files. The UK has released 8,500 pages of documents that detail alien abductions, UFO sightings, and other out-of-this-world activity. So is this finally proof that alien life exists? And will the U.S. finally release its own files? Joining us now is Director of New York Center for Extraterrestrial Research and author of the book Alien Rock, Michael Luckman joins us. Michael, nice to see you this morning.
Very good to be here.
There's so much evidence, overwhelming evidence in these documents, involvement with the CIA, working with the British government. Isn't it time for the United States government to come forward and release the documents on their own?
It's absolutely time, and what concerns me is that Bill and Hillary Clinton actually have been involved with the UFO cover-up. People don't know this. In 1985, the late Lawrence Rockefeller, philanthropist, briefed them at his JY Ranch in Wyoming. We have pictures. I mean, there's no question they were there for a whole week. They were a captive audience. He was very heavily into the UFO subject. And they were shown sensitive documents pertaining to nuclear weapon storage areas that have been visited by UFOs and their national security implications here.
And there's a relationship between the CIA and the British government working in cahoots, basically. Concerns about some sort of global problem. In fact, Ronald Reagan even famously talked about this while he was governor of California, says that he witnessed a UFO while flying over the skies of California.
They chased the UFO, actually, in an airplane near Bakersfield, California. Prince Philip has already been involved in this for the last 60 years, secretly. All Minister of Defense documents filter through Prince Philip.
Another portion of this document, you have a number of high-ranking military officials who've gone on the record and 400-some taped interviews.
400 videotaped depositions we have that pertain to their knowledge of Roswell and UFOs in general, as well as a worldwide UFO cover-up. These are former military intelligence people who worked at the Pentagon in the 1960s and 70s mostly.
And some of the documents we're looking now on the screens, these are drawings, these are eyewitness photographs, and these have all been published by the government. So these are some airline pilots, military officials who've detailed and drawn some of these craft as well. These aren't just random guys sitting out back having beers, right?
That's correct. The problem is that we've been covering up, the United States government has been covering up for 60 years, and it's really going to look bad because other governments are releasing their files wholesale.
There was a major sighting of just a few weeks ago in Jerusalem, witnessed by news crews, cameras. Eyewitnesses saw this thing. This giant orb hovering above this dome in Jerusalem.
Yes.
There, it zips off. What do you make of this? And this is obviously something they've been looking at.
I consider this case the single most important case in 25 years of doing UFO research. I think it, some people say it represents a second coming or potentially the second coming. It was shot from, as you say, different angles, and we've never had a case like this with that kind of evidence.
And if I'll link to that video because you can see it there shooting off at the last second. The book is called Alien Rock, is that right?
That's correct. And Prince William is one of my fans of the book.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Over the past 50 years, NASA has sent astronauts into space inside large rockets. Man's ability to travel farther into space will require more advanced propulsion systems. Several are being researched by NASA. While these futuristic propulsion systems seem like something out of science fiction, ancient alien theorists believe past civilizations possess these same advanced technologies. They point to a number of cultural myths that describe sky people coming to Earth in fire-breathing dragons or metallic-looking machines as proof of extraterrestrial visitation. But might these airships have reached Earth using the same type of propulsion systems we use today? The answer may be found deep in the Indian subcontinent. India is considered one of the oldest civilizations, with settlements dating back over 11,000 years. It is also home to several of the oldest records of ancient technologies. Ancient Sanskrit texts dating back as far as 6000 BC describe in varying but vivid detail flying machines called vimanas. Although mainstream historians believe the Vimana texts are myths, many of the documents contain passages that seem to describe modern machinery and technology.
The flight manuals of the Vimanas are quite similar to the flight manuals you find in the modern passenger flight business, or when you go to the military jet engines.
The Vimanika Shastra, or science of aeronautics, indicates Vimanas used a propulsion system based on a combination of gyroscopes, electricity, and mercury. Is this possible?
Mercury is an unusual element. Mercury is metal, it's also a liquid, and is a conductor of electricity. Now, there's unusual things you can do with mercury. You can put it into a closed gyroscopic device.
The Vimanika Shastra suggests Vimanas were powered by several gyroscopes, placed inside a sealed liquid mercury vortex.
One of the texts talks about Mercury rotating and driving some sort of a powerful wind or a windmill effect. That might be some sort of what we call a flywheel energy storage, where you have a spinning disk and then you extract energy from it slowly. That would be the mercury. And then that could be used to drive some sort of a propeller or what we call a ducted fan sort of system, like you have in a hovercraft.
But if Vimanas existed, could this prove there was a worldwide transportation network thousands of years before Columbus?
Hello everybody, Alien 2006 here. Today is December 5th, 2011, and it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, around 8:16 or so. Wanted to show you something that I found today on the NASA Soho site. As you can see here, I'm in Yahoo. Go ahead and type NASA Soho, hit enter, and it's going to take me to that, as I've done before. Here, click on Data Archive, go to MPEG Movies, and it takes you to the current. I'm going to go ahead and show you on this screen here. You see the 512 by 512. It's going to take a minute to load here. I just wanted to tell you guys, again, I found this object. As you will see on the screen, everything moves from left to right. Everything. All the dots, planets, stars, you'll see them, they move from left to right. There is one object that does not, and it's this little object right here. This is the way the screen loads. I'm going to go ahead and enlarge it so you guys can take a really good look at it. Planets, stars, you know, everything, it moves in this direction, except for this bright object right here. As you will see once it's done loading. Actually, let me make this a little bit smaller so we can see it. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So this is the object here, and we're almost done loading here. There it goes. I'll just let you watch it and let it play. Let's see if you see it. And this is about 5 days worth of data, as you will see at the bottom of the screen. Okay, so there it is. Everything is moving from left to right, except for one object. I'm going to go ahead and bring this back. And again, let's take a look at this object right here and follow it closely. Play it. There it goes. There's the object. It's going, it's going, it's going, it's going, it's turning. It actually turned. And it's gone. Everything else just keeps going constantly. Even if it goes behind here, it moves from left to right. Let me rewind again. You see the object appear right there as it comes back. As you can see, there it is, and it's moving a lot faster than everything else, as you can see. Alright, so let's play it again at their speed. There's the object, it's going, and it's moving a lot faster, but it's going across the other way. So I don't know what that is, but I did find that in today's data. And again, you can see it for yourselves. I'm going to go ahead and make this big so you can see it again for yourselves right here. There we go. There it is. There it goes. Again, it's moving a lot faster than everything else. I'm going to go ahead and replay it once it's done. I just want to play it so you can see everything moves from left to right smoothly, except for that object. There it goes. And it's going, and it is now gone. So there you go, guys. Alien 2006 here saying have a great day and be good humans.
This is Titan 1-4. No signs of life.
Titan 1-4, hold your position.
What do you got?
Unmanned aircraft is identifying enemy sniper.
Copy that. Let's move. Thanks, Reaper 1-1. We got it from here.
Sensors coming off target. Learn more.